I think the most important thing that we are doing is we are creating a level playing field for everybody in our community to have access to good, healthy food that's life-sustaining, that allows people to have good health outcomes, and to sit at a table together and break bread.
It equalizes things a little bit for people going to food banks, like thinking about what type of food they're getting. Like when I was younger and we used to take food to the food bank, it was always like canned, and that's useful, like people need it. But when they can get tandoori chicken or lo mein or something like that, and maybe bring that home for their kids and introduce them to tofu, which they maybe wouldn't have had otherwise, and these other options, maybe more healthful options even. It's just a whole different ball game, which makes it just a really cool program.
So in the past 15 years, I've worked in food systems work. Prior to that, I was in nonprofit management. So my whole adult career has been working in nonprofits. My passion really was in food access, food justice. So Healthy Food for All, really the key focus is using local foods that are readily available to get out into onto low-income households, and the idea is to get them onto families' tables when the food is at its freshest and most nutritious and can be put to good use. We do that through two initiatives. One is collecting, cleaning, aggregating, and distributing fresh local produce. And the other one is collecting bulk prepared foods from local cafeterias, repackaging that, labeling it, and then distributing it out.
Hi, my name is Susan DeMel, and I work at Blackhawk Church, and I represent Blackhawk's Food Pantry Garden, which is part of Madison area Food Pantry Gardens. The mission of our Food Pantry Garden is to supply fresh food to food pantries here in the Madison area, which then gets on the tables of folks who need it. And we really believe that people deserve to have fresh, great, healthy produce. And we're so happy to be able to have land that was donated to us to be able to produce food. We spend tons of volunteer hours trying to make that happen, and we think it's a great and absolutely necessary cause. It's not Blackhawk Church. It is Blackhawk Church, but it's really the volunteers who are addressing hunger every time they weed one weed. Every time they take one shovel and dig up potatoes, every time they water a plant out there, they are addressing the issue of hunger in Dane County, and they are making this happen, plain and simple.
What our hope is to do is to make that produce look as nice as possible, that you would see it at a produce shelf in a grocery store, at a farmer's market. And it's, giving that produce a little dignity, but also giving the people receiving that produce a little dignity, that we're not just dropping dirty seconds on them and expecting them to eat it, that they get the good top line produce just like anyone else. So our goal this year is 50,000 pounds of produce. And we've already reaching out to farmers. We've already had produce donations. Here we are in early April. But we've already receiving onions, carrots, potatoes, sweet potatoes, parsnips, things that were root cellar winter storage crops that are now being kind of cleaned out to make room for the spring crops that'll be coming in. I have no doubt that we're going to reach 50,000 pounds, and I think that just like the prepared food, we're going to surpass it easily. The prepared foods. So our primary donor right now is Epic out in Verona, big company with thousands of employees. They have 3 cafeterias on their campus. So each week they set aside items that are left over in their cafeteria. And then those get picked up, brought to feed kitchens, and repackaged. Our goal this year is to do 50,000 pounds of food, of prepared food repackaging. Just through Epic Systems, right now we are on target to do 75,000 pounds. And that is, so they are producing 1,500 pounds to a ton of food that's left over on a weekly basis. And all that gets repackaged and redistributed.
It seems really cool because it seems like everyone recognizes that this is something that should have already happened. Like there's already so much food waste that was happening that everything seemed to kind of fall into line for them. Epic was, it seemed so easy that they were like immediately on board, like, oh yeah, if you have people to package the food, absolutely you can have our food. Like it seemed like something that should have been in place because it seems like such a simple solution. And that's really cool.
So the magic happens. It wouldn't happen without lots of partnerships. So the first partnerships certainly are feed kitchens. So we have a commercial kitchen. We couldn't repackage prepared food outside of a commercial kitchen. So this place, feed kitchens, had to exist for this project to be able to happen. But ultimately we needed people power, right? So you have 59 5-gallon buckets of soup. I can't pour 853 quarts myself. And so we started reaching out to folks and getting volunteers. We found quite a few people interested in doing this work. For repacking food, we're always going to have special events here at Feed. Epic is having their users group meeting in the next 2 weeks. We're going to be adding repacking sessions here. And so folks come and spend a few hours with us to scoop some soup or put something into a different package. We're going to be doing field gleaning with farmers. So if people are interested in getting out into a field, working on a farm for a couple hours, we will need people to do that. We need drivers. So we're trying to figure out logistical systems, trying to get the food that we're working with out into 47 different food pantries, 8 different community centers, 10 different meal sites. We need people to help us drive that around. But right now we are dependent on volunteer labor to do that. The sky isn't the limit. There's not an infinite amount of food out there locally, but there is a lot more than what we're collecting. So I can imagine a time when we can get 200,000 pounds, 250,000 pounds of just fresh produce and move it through the system. What I'm trying to do is take, last year we were taking baby steps. Maybe I'm taking more adult steps this year, but I'm not running. I'm not running towards anything because I want to make sure that we build something that's going to last in the future and that we don't crush ourselves by taking on too much at any given time.